And as you look back on it, what do you think happened in that stretch?
It's the most talked about team that ever finished second. Everybody remember the Chicago Cubs of 1969. What would happen if we had won? Would they still be talking about us? I don't know.
Caught 5 seconds, the ball game is all over.
Well, the feeling is mid-August, you feel you got it. You know, you're going to win a pennant this year. We were so close, you could reach out and touch it.
Late August, the Cubs have a 7-game lead or so up on the Mets. The Cardinals are done. The National League gives the Cubs permission to print playoff tickets. Now, this is a team that hasn't made the postseason since 1945. So imagine the excitement of being able to purchase a playoff ticket.
We were planning like, are we going to camp out in front of the park in order to get tickets? We saw the World Series and the pennant in our heads. It was happening.
I have no idea, as an 8-year-old, that we have a history of stinking up the joint. So I'm thinking the Chicago Cubs, they're the greatest. Have no idea what I'm in for.
We knew to win was part of our destiny. And for us to lose, we were in control of that.
There's a well-hit ball. Look out. Let's score. A home run, and we have a brand new ball game at Wrigley Field.
All of a sudden, we're at the same ball club. We were getting plenty of hits, 7, 8, 9 hits, only scoring 2 runs, hitting to a lot of double plays, or just not executing as well as we should.
Ground ball. Bouncing out to Kessler. Oh, no. Kessler overruns the ball.
We went from 9, 7, 6, 5, and then all of a sudden, we're 2.5 games in front playing the Mets.
So in the first week of September, the Cubs make their last trip into New York. They got a 2.5 game lead. Playing your next closest rival, every win or loss really counts as 2.
We knew that we better have our act together if we're going to try to beat them.
Tommy Agee, he's on second base, and I'm thinking if Garrett gets a base hit, it's going to be tough to throw him out.
There's a base hit to right.
Wayne Garrett gets a base hit to right field, a one-hopper to Jim Hickman.
Agee rounds third. Eddie Yost waves him in. The throw in. He is.
I put a tag on Agee so hard that I almost dropped the ball. And all of a sudden, this tremendous roar goes up. Being in Shea Stadium, I said, something's wrong.
Save at the plate. And Hundley is really hollering at Davidson.
The umpire says, all right, Randy, is that all you got to say to me? I said, no, man, I ought to bite your head off. Not one iota of a doubt do I ever have of tagging him out. I just knew that was probably the biggest play of the whole season.
Most of the guys saying, what else could go wrong?
Next night, September 9th.
Ronnie's in the on-deck circle warming up. He looks down, there's a black cat.
And I'm looking, I said, what the heck's going on, I thought Ronnie was going to hit him. I said, this cat maybe got 9 lives, but I think he's going to lose one tonight, yeah.
Why did it walk in front of our dugout instead of the Mets dugout? I got no idea.
I did think that the Mets were responsible for that cat coming on the field, but they said they didn't have anything to do with it. It just happened to be living underneath the stands chasing mice.
Knowing how superstitious Leo was, I have to imagine he had nightmares. This black cat had walked out on the field, and oh my God, that's bad luck.
It's the 7th inning and we're losing. The lights go out in Shea Stadium. 50,000 people begin to wave these white flags back and forth like this. And they begin singing, "Bye, bye, Leo. Bye, bye, Leo." We hate to see you go.
Between the black cat and the tag and the pitching of the Mets, the playing of the Mets, the season just fell apart.
Well, as a team, I thought that we had the right nucleus to win. And the Mets, to me, I think they were just a stronger ball club the tail end of the season.
You look at the numbers of how much the Cubs players played that year. In 7 of the 8 starting positions, the Cub player played the equivalent of at least 16 more games than the Mets starting player did. Leo simply was not going to lose a game because his best players were on the bench.
You can't depend on 8 or 9 guys every single day and think you're going to win.
Ground ball between first and second. Look out now. Here comes Stewart. This ball game is all over.
It did wear me out, I must tell you.
50 years later, I'm trying to figure out what happened. I don't know. I thought we were going to win. I think all the players thought we were going to win, and it didn't happen, and that's baseball.
People would come up to me and say, "Hey, I cried 69 when you guys lost." I said, "I was on the team. I cried more than you, believe me."
We were so close, you could reach out and touch it. And all of a sudden, it slipped away.
I used to dream about playing in the World Series. I mean, it kind of gets into your mind, your psychic and everything. The Cubs did me a great favor that year. They took me to the World Series in New York. Walking in the ballpark, Shea Stadium, oh gosh, this could have been us. I missed that because I didn't have it.
They gave it everything they had and they came up short. That's what happens to most of all of us.
We felt we had a glimpse, a taste of what it might be like to be the winners. And that's where the hope comes in.
I felt it was a great year for Chicago. In my personal opinion, this is how the Cubs became alive.
Those guys were my guys. That was my team. They'll always be my team. That's my Mount Rushmore.
When Aunt Sano passed away, I was going to work, and I'll tell you, I choked up. Great ball player.
That year was nostalgic. We just kind of turned people's thinking around. The Cubs, they're still a great winning organization, and I think that was the start of it.
69 was my favorite season. Although we didn't win, there was a lot of things happening that I kept in touch with in the society, in America. It was so exciting to me. It was just uplifting.
Everybody remember the Chicago Cubs of 1969. They loved those 69 Cubs.